Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Matthew back with another episode of Watty's channel. We are returning back to the comparable LJN videos. Today is Thursday, October the 20th, and I got so caught up with doing the LJN tournament, my favorite LJN tournament, that I've basically omitted doing anything else. So I guess at some point the plan originally was to kind of intermingle, videos like these. My favorite so and so top 10 picks or comparable LJNs or shout out videos that I like to do for a lot of people that I buy from. But really, I only had one episode thus far that kind of intervened with the tournament. And, I made that video along with. Actually, I think I made that video prior to making any of the LJN videos or tournament videos. So that was really the only reason why I pretty much had that one in there. And that was the Mattel Retro Wave 2 that I talked about. So in one of my posted videos, I commented, an update, let you guys know that, hey, as of Sunday, which would have been 15th, I believe. So I did complete the LJN tournament. I honestly thought that tournament was going to take like 50 videos. It definitely felt that way. But, I figured with the sheer quantity, maybe it'd go 10 rounds, maybe 35 videos or so. I actually got it done in less videos this time around than I did the first time around. Of course, it definitely helped that first time around I was doing 5 matchups at a time, whereas most of my videos this tournament were 7 to 8 matchups per video. So, that obviously cut down the amount of videos drastically. So I did complete that tournament. I really liked doing that first round. It was a lot of fun. But to be honest, round two is where it really starts, in my opinion. Where it really takes off. And you guys are going to love it when I get those posted. So today's comparable LJN video is going to feature not only one of my all-time favorite wrestler, but it's also going to feature one of my all-time favorite LJN figures. And it is the immortal Hulk Hogan. And he will live on in my mind forever. You don't even have to remember, being a kid to remember Hulk Hogan. Obviously, the older you get, the more your memories kind of dissipate over time. I remember so much about Hulk Hogan, so many matches. We're talking about interviews with Mean Gene, just such an electric personality. His movies, to me, which are always a lot of fun. Even if I were to go back as an adult, I would still enjoy them. They're not just for kids. I think they would really hold up very well. And again, part of my favorite wrestling movie, No Holds Barred. It was the LJN Series 1 was such a simple figure. But as I've said it before, you don't have to be overly dramatic with your color schemes or pose or anything like that. To me, I still feel like the Series 1 Hulk Hogan is the most perfect figure, fighting-wise. Yeah, I still gravitate a lot towards, the Big John Studd figure. Yes, I still love Sid Vicious, Galoob-style version, absolutely. But this is it. This is the premier figure. And like I said, a very simple paint scheme overall. Looks great. Now, the first custom I ever bought, and I've talked about this in the past a little bit, that did feature one that came over from Move Over Swanson. And, I was still new to collecting at the time that I purchased this figure. So I saw it. I didn't realize if that was a variant, if it was some kind of special custom, or if it was maybe a different series. And, I've run into that a few times, but either way, I think when I finally realized, nope, that's just a sheer custom, nothing else, I didn't care. Beautiful, beautiful figure. Absolutely loved it. And like I said, you're talking about one of the most simplest of customs that I own, yet it's actually one of my most favorite. Do I list it as my all-time favorite? That's a tough call, especially given the fact that my tournament is still going on right now. If I do post this video soon, I'm thinking, okay, so I kind of skipped ahead with episode 103. I posted it about 12 hours earlier than I would normally. So it wasn't exactly 3 days, about 2.5. So if I wait another day and a half, which would put me probably Friday morning, or excuse me, Saturday morning, I'm thinking about posting this video Saturday morning and still getting the next video of the tournament posted per usual that Sunday morning. So it's not gonna, like, you know, 3 days later type of deal after I post this one. Because I really want to get those videos up as soon as possible, especially if I am headed out on deployment. You know, I definitely don't want anything to hold out in the background. You know, I don't want to wait 9 months to come back and finally post the rest of those videos. So these are Hulk Hogan Series 1. Again, LJN Series 1, in my opinion, the best figures. And just slightly behind them, the Series 6 figures. My first custom from Move Over Swanson, Andrew Sable. Absolutely love his shop. And a perfect figure. And again, you didn't have to do anything really flashy with this figure. You know, they just simply painted over the chest. And they did a remarkable job. Absolute perfection. Now this one is kind of an oddity. Because not as much of a fan of WCW as WWF, of course, growing up. You know, I've had a few things that I enjoyed. Like, I really enjoyed the strap matches between Sting and Vader. Of course, it feels like anytime you put on the TV, those guys were having strap matches. So, but I absolutely love this Hogan. I still think I gravitate towards this one more than anything. But the overall dark coloring of this figure that came from Stinger GQ, another one of my all-time favorites. The overall paint scheme of the figure is absolutely remarkable. I truly love this one. And even kind of painting the hands so that it looks like gloves. The only thing I probably would have recommended to the artist of this particular figure. So, you know, when Hogan goes to WCW, he's got his blonde hair, but his facial hair is, you know, dark, obviously. So this is more of a black color that kind of meshes well with the gloves and hat, you know, pant scheme and all that. If they had lightened the black up, make it more of like a light, even a dark brown, that would have been a little bit better, more human-like. 5 o'clock shadow type of deal. But overall, I mean, this is just an absolutely beautiful piece. You know, I truly love it. You know, I've seen videos and stuff of Hulk Hogan walking around with a little, I don't know, I call them Big Bird feathers. Because that's what it reminds me of every time I look at it. So a lot of people, they take these like pipe cleaners and they use them as that kind of scarf or whatnot. And, you know, when I think of Hogan, I like to think of him in this style. So anytime I see him with kind of like a little feather scarf, it just kind of weirds. Such a gorgeous piece. Absolutely love this one. I do have one more figure, but I didn't pull one particular figure off the shelf. Not LJN, but I want to grab it as a reference point. So if you'll excuse me. Alright, here we go. Alrighty, so as I talked about in the past, several months ago, I commissioned my buddy Eric on eBay. You know him, wrestling writer. To basically give me an original San Francisco Toymaker version of Hulk Hogan. So, with Series 1 being one of my favorite wrestlers, favorite figures, I didn't want to use a Series 5, especially with 20 gazillion Series 5 Hogans on hand. So, I wanted this figure with this color scheme on a Series 1 figure. So, yesterday, the long-awaited prize that I've been waiting on, and as you can see, the figures behind me, we'll probably touch on those eventually at some point as well. We got the Dingo Warrior, the Maroon Series 2 Andre the Giant. Absolute beautiful coloring. We'll talk about Andre the Giant. Actually, I'll probably make that video today as well because I'm really looking forward to that one. Very simple figures. I don't foresee that being a long video. But anyways, back to the Hogan figure. This original San Francisco. This is kind of what I wanted to come out with. So, as he expressed to me, most of the figures he works on are resin figures. You know, rubber, obviously, it's, you know, a lot more difficult. The paint could bleed a whole lot more. That's why you see a lot of Ram Treasure figures cracking and all that. So, he did make that specialty Hogan for me, and it was a really interesting figure. And this was the final product. So, One of the first things that stood out to me when I received this figure, I kind of thought that they were going to do a simple, you know, take a Hulk Hogan, just a regular Hogan, check, and do the exact same thing that they did with this figure. Just paint a yellow shirt over his chest or make it look like a shirt. He did such a fantastic job with this because he actually created an actual shirt. So you could actually feel the texture all around, building the overall texture around the entire body. And he actually went a step further. They didn't just stick with the original, pants and, or excuse me, the original knee pads and boots. He actually built additional boots on the figure on top of, again, the pants that he actually created. This isn't painted on. This is actually custom designed to reflect actual wear of clothing. And I thought that was so incredible. And like I said, I just simply thought he was gonna, paint the legs red, paint the chest yellow, and I would have been perfectly fine with that. But he definitely went above and beyond. And this is what I'm talking about. So he said to me, a couple months back, thank you, for never rushing me, giving me the time to work on it. Very simply put, if you rush people, they do shoddy work. You give them the time, let them, put the artistry to work, and you come out with these absolutely amazing products. I was so impressed with this figure. Now, would I like it to be a lot glossy like this? I'm sure if we send another Hogan, or if he has a Hogan, and I ask him to do another one like this, yeah, I'm pretty sure he could just do that, very simple, where he's just simply painting the colors on. But this is such beautiful work. Like, I'm so super impressed with that. He was obviously very nervous because it was, one of the first things he did, rubber-wise, to this extreme. But the man's an artist, and you can't knock any of the fantastic figures that you get when you buy some of these figures. Again, the original Hulk Hogan from Series 1, still one of my all-time favorite figures. But the overall custom designs that you get in return is absolutely remarkable. You best believe one of the first things I did when I opened that package, I mean, I'm not sitting at a table wrestling them or anything, you're just kind of like, holding them in your hand, just, kind of, just a little bit, like, kind of basically just like that, throwing a pin, like, literally just monkeying around, you're just goofing off, having some fun. But getting this one in, and getting the maroon, Series 2 Andre the Giant, I wanted to wrestle those guys so bad. I've never wanted to fight someone so badly. But because of the build on, I obviously don't want to risk damaging this. So you got to be very careful, And just beautiful work. And he actually got a couple new figures for me, several new figures. So I was either going to make a video, reflecting all the different figures I just got in yesterday, or I could have done a comparable LJN. I decided to stick with the comparable LJN videos. They always seem to do very well for me, so I think that's what I will do. I will create more than one video tonight. So once I finish this Hogan, I'll probably work on Andre. Very simple. I'm going to pull all the Andre the Giants I have. I'm not going to stick with 1, 2, or 6. I mean, they're all pretty much the same pose for the most part anyways, so that really won't be too drastic. And the customs, again, the customs I have 2 customs, very simple. Let me rephrase. Blackstrap Andre from Wrestling Rider is also a custom, so, but I've been calling that an original because, who wants to spend $600 on an original right now? Yeah. The Heart Foundation, I'm dying to do a video about those guys, but I only have one set of Heart Foundation, one set of original, so one set of custom, one set original. There are other versions I want to do, so maybe I'll hold off on doing any additional, Heart Foundation comparable figures. Or maybe I'll bring them up, who knows. Well, at the same time that I'm sitting down here talking about certain things, I really don't have a 100% grasp of, what I'm going to decide to do. But that's what this is for, talking it out and kind of deciding, which way I want to move. where we at? 15 minutes. So, all right, 15 minutes, decent amount of time, I think. Again, guys, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Always appreciate you, and I will talk to you soon. And goodbye for now.